wasn't directly anything. Is it at a sense of, like you said, with interest? I wouldn't say I became interested. It was simply that I became aware to uh, something. I couldn't put a pin on it for you, but that led me to want to find out. And I think uh, I did a lot of procrastinating within that. So maybe 2019 was when I really started to uh, take time in noticing. Whereas before I would still notice, but it would pass me by. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And what about yourself, Julian? How did you come onto this journey of discovering? Sorry.
Wow, the journey. I mean, for me, it's always been an ongoing journey, and my opinions have changed so many times. But I've always been a bit of a tinfoil hat wearer, a
You always
conspiracy.
call me that on your show as well, innit?
Well, you are one. You make me look like a normal person, a normie. But I think going through that similar era, I mean, I know you and I are a little bit older than Owen, but the lies that brought about the Iraq War, I think that made our generation never want to trust the government ever again. And to see the million people on the street demanding that this war didn't happen, and it still happened, I think it made people either totally apathetic and say, well, there's nothing we can do, or it made people go the other way and say, I am going to question everything the government does. And once you question that, you go to the next level, and I think the next layer, I think Owen is well into discovering that these things are very layered, and it runs deeper, and we don't really live in a democracy in the sense that anyone can just, well, and I used to say, well, if you don't like the government, elect a new one, but you will get the same thing wearing a different colour tie. I think that's what made me very sceptical and a bit of a tinfoil hat wearing lunatic like the rest of us.
Well, we try and keep it same. I mean, personally, myself, I'm not really. I look back. I see the regime changes, and I see how it was manipulated by outside. You could say from the outside. But this is the thing. When again, as a young child, I had this inner feeling, intuition. You can say, I don't know, but something was all fake. It's all fake, the whole situation, especially because I was running away from a country with war. It kind of instilled in me this feeling saying, you know what, not only there's something wrong, but it's all a show. And I'm not even joking. I had this feeling inside.
Do you think that school, or like people say, or the indoctrination center like plays a part? Because that's what I mean. For me, 2015 was the year that I left school, and that's why it was so profound, because it was the real world that that's like just kind of the paradigms that are established by what I could only call brainwashing, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's a propaganda machine, isn't it? The funny thing is, the real news that the BBC News and CNN and all of them, they're propaganda machines. The actual people. Honestly, I see Julian as a real reporter. Why? He goes through all the Julian Assange protests, other protests, every single protest he can try, and he's amazing. His work. This is why I'm a huge fan of Julian, and it's impressive, honestly. And the fact that you've put the time to go, and you've met Julian Assange's dad, right? That in itself is amazing, bro.
Yeah, that was a very special moment for me. And Craig Murray is another journalist who is now in prison for what? Speaking the truth. I'm hoping to get along to protests for him also. And it'll be the same crowd of individuals. And when you go to these protests, you see the same faces again and again. And it's always good to see these people, but it's kind of sad that it's a small enough group of people for you to be able to recognize them. You know, we should have millions on the street for Julian Assange, for Craig Murray. But again, it comes back to this Iraq war. If the million on the street wasn't enough to stop that, what's it going to do for Julian Assange? Do we need something else? Is there a different kind of protest or civil disobedience? I don't know.
There must be some sort of other legal action or route that we can take.
Well, when 90%, or I don't want to be that pessimistic, but like you say, it's that small of a crowd, and it's the same people you recognise. When most people are oblivious and just caught up in their own daily hardships, you know, and I think that's what it is, you know. People are distracted.
Yeah. The thing is that you're right in saying that, because why? It's funny how they allow the football final to occur. Do you see what I mean? And that's because we're distracted by the masses. These are things that distract the masses, like sports, other stuff. Obviously, you got your own financial issues or other issues, the things that you're addressing. But essentially, if it's not that, you're distracted with something that they've created. It's like, it goes back even to Rome, when you watch the gladiators and stuff. They had the Colosseum, and it was, you entertain them and give them a piece of bread, they won't revolt, is the saying or something. So that is, I think that's what's still going on. So right now the footballers are the gladiators, and they're going into around think about it, they're sitting around 60,000.
And what was the chant in Wembley on the final? It's coming Rome.
It's coming Rome, isn't it?
Yeah.
So did you hear what my theory was about the flooding after that?
Can I ask Julian what is happening with? Basically, he was going to be extradited. Correct me if I'm wrong. And because of his mental health, they said that no. But however, even though where he is causing his mental health, they still sent him back to prison instead of releasing him. Right?
Yeah, you've summed it up perfectly. On the technicality of mental health, the judge said no, he can't be extradited. It was almost as if the judge was looking for something to cling on to. But it's sad that he's still incarcerated. But the protest goes on, and there are weekly protests every Saturday afternoon. If you're at Piccadilly Circus, there is a protest for Assange around 2 p.m. and there's regular vigils and other events at the prison. He's in Belmarsh Prison in South London.
All right, I thought so. That's yeah, because I heard when Tommy was in there, they were in the same kind of wing, wasn't they?
Yeah, funnily enough.
Yeah.
But
what you were saying about the it's coming home or it's coming home.
Yeah.
I had a big kind of theory with, I've said this to Mac before, but you know, the power of chanting and kind of people's belief in things or whatever. I think if you think of it as a ritual, whether the outcome of the game being, like, a lot of people wanted to say, oh, it's all a scheme, you know, not even the game is real. I don't think it is. I think the game was real and the ritual was based on that. So if we would have won, I think they would have ended the lockdown the next day. I think they would have done all of that kind of stuff. But no, they lost. And then what happened a few days later? London was flooding. There was tons of rain. I think this was all based on the chant and like a weird sort of negative repercussion from it.
So you think
as crazy as that sounds, I remember thinking, I bet it wouldn't have rained if England had won. It just wouldn't have.
There was a tornado in Barking and Dagenham. There was a tornado there.
It's crazy. They say there are no coincidences, but Italy won the 100 meters today as well.
Just saying,
did you see that?
Say your famous quote.
Oh, it would be more of a coincidence if there were no coincidences.
That's where I got that quote is very good. It's very true. Julian is the man who says it.
There you go. Yeah, first, but yeah, Italy won the 100 meters final. First time in a long time that a European athlete has won gold in the Olympic final. Not a world record, nowhere near a world record, but there were no Jamaicans even on the track in the final, I don't think. And there was also another great moment in the Olympics today. I don't know if you lot follow it. I know it's the distraction and whatnot, but in the men's high jump final, Italy again, the high jump against an athlete I think from Qatar, and they both got, they're head to head, and they both failed at I think 2 meters 39, and they said, right, we carry on competing. They're level on level. And the guy goes, what about, can we get 2 golds? And they said, if you agree to it, you can. And they went, boom, 2 gold medals. And that's it.
So what, was there no silver?
I believe if 2 gold medals are awarded, then the third place athlete gets a bronze still. Yeah, no silver. I believe that's the way.
You'd be annoyed if you were the third place, wouldn't you? If you're like,
yeah, you lot carry on and get on with it. Yeah, and I think in the only event where you can get 2 bronze medals is the boxing, whereby if you lose a semi-final, I don't think in the Olympics there's a box off for the bronze. Some tournaments they have a box off, and you then go on and fight for the bronze. But I think they award 2 bronze medals in the boxing.
Did you win anything in MMA?
The replays of the BMX. That was pretty cool. I think we won the gold in the women's.
There you go. Goodness me. And I heard that, was it the BMXing or possibly the skateboarding, where a gender-neutral person had won for Great Britain in the women's event, and the commentators were criticized for continually misgendering them and referring to them as her. But if you're entering the women's category,
I don't think she won. I did watch the skateboarding. I think I know who you're talking about. I think she was from, is it Thailand or one of those countries like that?
I thought there was a possibly, yeah, maybe you're right. I just remember.
You're saying it was a British one?
I thought so. Maybe it was a British commentator. I should have done my homework. But yeah, there was someone from the BBC misgendering this individual.
I think that's all been made of a meal of, to be honest. I think she's just a lesbian.
Possibly. But there has been a lot of those type of stories at this Olympics, and there was another commentator who made some derogatory comment, I think, about Korean athletes. There's been a few politically incorrect statements that have kind of been let on, because that's what sells at the moment, isn't it? That's the go-to story. Oh, you're not politically correct. You've offended someone.
Who? What, you? The thing is, this is just what we're in. The day and age that you're talking about, we're in. You have to be like transgender, well, you can't. You have to. The thing is, they've taken out the he and she. You have to call them they and them, it or something, isn't it?
Never it, I don't think. They. So, I mean, people talk about having preferred pronouns, and that's fair enough. If someone wants to be referred to as they, I probably wouldn't have a problem, but I can understand if you're in the women's
skateboarding. So what do you think of birthing parent instead of mum?
I think that's going a bit far, isn't it? I mean, I was a birthing partner when I became a dad.
Yeah,
they referred to.
That's what they want to call parents now. They call it birthing parents.
You see, I think it's all a Trojan horse. I don't think the actual people in that community want anything to do with it.
Yeah, I believe you're right. It's
all coming from other people trying to co-opt it, you know.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
That's true. Do you know what, Julian? I was gonna hold you to it. When would you have time to go through a couple of pages of the book as well?
Let me see. Look, do you want me to get the book out? Do you want to do a couple of
Please.
pages of the book?
Yeah, why not?
Like story time.
Yeah,
We'll do a chapter.
we'll
All right,
discuss it.
It's quite late as well. It's getting to the witching hour.
Yeah, why not?
It is the witching.
All right. The book is looking at me.
Grab
Give me a
it.
minute. I'll grab the book.
Guys, yeah, we're in for a treat. Some esoteric, isn't it? Not esoteric, esoteric.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested because
Mac's
I
favourite
don't
book.
want people to be put off by the cover.
Nah, well, the cover always
It's off-putting.
shockwave.
It is a shock for some people, and it will be. Let me see where Cam is. Cam is. Wait, I beg of you guys. Let's add Cam, please, everyone. Spam Cam.
I was at a farm yesterday. You might have noticed on my Instagram. I was at Animal Farm.
Yeah.
And I saw a few goats, and the goat, there it is, the greatest of all time, as Mak likes to call the goat, is synonymous with Satanism and Baphomet. But why is it the goat is considered satanic? Does it relate to what Jesus said about separating the goats and the sheep, and sheep being this obedient animal that will follow the good shepherd, and Jesus is obviously the good shepherd, versus the disobedient animal, the goats, that are more difficult to herd and round up, and they don't follow.
I'll tell you what it is. The Hiram Abiff, I always talk about him, yeah? But when you say who is Hiram Abiff on Google, you know what comes up? Why does this picture come up?
Baphomet.
Why does
is that Baphomet backwards or something?
That is Baphomet. That is the Baphomet. So my question is, when you do Hiram Abiff, if you look, was a central character of an allegory presented to all candidates, basically to third degree, remember? Third degree in Masonry. Hiram Abiff was the chief architect to Solomon's temple, and then he was murdered inside by the three ruffians. After they failed to obtain the master, obtain from him the master Mason's secret password. So basically, it's weird that when you look at that, because look, you see the emblem.
But the Baphomet is a Freemason symbol. You have to remember that, man.
See, look, they even go through. You see, these are the rituals. Yeah, people I don't think know about it, but what they do is they play out, because the three guys. Remember, Hiram Abiff is a genuine guy working for Solomon. Oh, there we go.
So is that picture there? That's Moloch, no?
That's Moloch. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
Now, this picture I've just shown you, this is in the book. It says the Mexican civilization of pre-conquest times was not alone in practicing human sacrifice. Carthage also was notorious for its molochs, mass incinerations of children, a practice derived, so it seems, from the Hebrews. Moloch is a corruption of the name.
How's it spelled, Moloch? How's it spelled?
Moloch. Moloch is a corruption of the name Melech, a king of the Hebrews and one of the gods of the Ammonites. They sacrificed their children to him to obtain good harvests. So this looks to be Moloch / Melech, that looks similar again to Baphomet.
The thing is, the only problem with that is the Baphomet's got one hand up and one hand down.
Well, but you know what that signifies as well, man.
So what? As above, so below.
So, but no, it's the left hand that is risen, and the left hand is the left-hand path, which is the dark.
The right hand risen, bro. I'll show you now. It's the right hand risen, I think.
No. If the right hand was risen, it would be that's representing goodness. the left hand is the darkness.
Bro, it's the right hand, my bro.
Yeah.
Look, that's right.
Okay.
It's always the right
Oh
hand.
yeah, yes, yes. So it's signifying the balance. Then that's
Yeah,
signifying the
bro,
balance.
it's as above, so below. I'm telling you, my guy. I've looked into it. Yeah, that is the
Right.
melech.
Can you
How do you spell
see?
melech? How do you spell melech? Or with a melech in Hebrew?
Can you see the writing just where my finger is here?
Hold on. No.
Is it
Probably
backwards?
back on your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It
not.
begins with a C though, right?
CR.
It's a G. It's Gehinnom.
Gehenna.
Gehinnom is Jahannam in Arabic.
Oh.
This is hell. But I think Gehenna was actually an area in the Holy Land that was like a rubbish dump. Nothing would grow there. Everything disgusting was left there. And this Hebrew place, the name crept into the Arabic language, and in the Quran, Jahannam refers to hell, which would be Gehenna in the Hebrew. But it's a bit weird that word, I mean, I just noticed it myself in the background. And this says here Valis. I don't know what Valis means. I can't get a Arabic
Valid.
equivalent, but Gehenna would definitely be hell. Jahannam.
That makes sense. Well done. Yeah, well spotted.
And the Ammonites, Owen might know more than I about the Ammonites, but might they have been in what became modern day Amman in Jordan? I mean, Amman actually means safety, but I don't know what the Ammonites, who they were or where they were.
Do you know?
I'm not too sure exactly. I'm not too sure. I don't think they were a big empire. You know? I think they were more of a people.
The Ammonites, Amman. And below that picture, you've got the cannibal feast. Let's have a look. That doesn't look like a picnic you want to be attending. This cannibal feast was drawn by a German who in the 16th century took part in the first explorations of Brazil. There is no explanation of the significance of this type of ritual. Strangely, the only participants here are women and children. Why would the men have been excluded from the cannibal feast? That's a bit weird.
So what are they saying, that they're eating only men and women, or
No, women and children are eating human flesh.
but not men, and they're eating any human flesh, not any gender.
That image actually looks like the head of a man.
Wow.
So I don't know what the significance would be.
And does this specific page or whatever have a chapter? What's this within?
So this chapter is within blood and sacrifice. And of course, the Christians every Sunday have the Eucharist, which is, if you're a Catholic, really the blood of Jesus Christ. And if you're Church of England, merely symbolic. But it's this idea of eating someone's human flesh and drinking blood. I mean, is that not cannibalistic in a sense?